Hey guys, I'm Melhorn. Are you new at fishing for catfish and don't know where to start? Not even with the most basic catfish rig? Or don't even know what a catfish rig is? Or don't even know why you use one? Well, stay tuned. We're going to show you everything you need to know. Well, folks, as a fishing guide here in the Carolinas, I get a wide variety of people on my boat fishing with me. I've got some folks that have caught 100-pound catfish before, and I get a lot of people that have never been out fishing at all. The cool thing is, I think some of the best questions that I get are from the brand new folks. They ask honest questions that many of you are probably wanting to ask. It teaches me a lot because it shows me, out of all the videos that I put out, a lot of things I've overlooked in explaining to people. Some of the most basic things, like a catfish rig. So what's a catfish rig? Where do you buy it at? How do you get it? How does it work? What does it look like? Let's go back to a very basic explanation here. You've got a rod, fishing rod, you've got a fishing reel. On that fishing reel, you have fishing line. That line goes out the rod and it comes out, and many people believe that at the end of that fishing line, you tie a hook. And you can do that. You can simply tie a hook onto the end of your line. It will work, you can catch fish. But what a fishing rig does, and especially a catfish rig, it kind of fine-tunes that end piece there where the line meets the hook and basically puts a step in between that gives you a couple of distinct advantages. Well, one of the first things that a catfish rig does to help you out is they add a swivel between the main line and where the hook is at. What this swivel is a little piece of metal that turns. It looks like a figure 8. On one end, it ties to your fishing line, and on the other end, it ties to your leader material. We'll explain what leader material is here in a second. Now, the first step in tying this rig is to take your line and put an egg sinker onto the line. This here is what will keep your bait or your fish underwater. Now, the next step is to tie the open end of this main line to a swivel. This swivel allows for any twist in the line that may happen while you are fishing, whether you've got the bait underneath your boat and it's a fish swimming around, or you're casting off the bank into some river current and your bait is tumbling and moving. This swivel allows for twist and turning. You see, when you put a piece of bait out there or a fish, it's going to move and turn if you're in any kind of current or if the boat's moving. If you don't have that swivel, your line will twist up. And this will make for some problems down the road when you start casting and reeling the line in. Now, after that swivel is a piece of leader material. Now you're asking, what is that? Is that just another piece of fishing line? Well, it can be. Some people, especially folks that are fishing for stripers and crappie, will put something similar in weight to their main line in there. But for folks that are fishing for catfish, because catfish are known to have some abrasive fins on them and some little brush-like teeth that are in their mouth, they generally put on a heavier piece of line for that leader material than what they have on their main line. Now, at the end of that piece of leader material is where your hook comes in. It can be a J hook, it can be a treble hook, it can be a circle hook. I use circle hooks. I think they are the easiest hook for a beginning angler to use because if the fish takes the hook into its mouth and swims off with it, you don't have to be sitting there holding the rod. Basically, the resistance of the rod itself will set the hook, and you don't have to worry about missing those strikes. Now, for most people, that leader material is 2 to 3 times the strength of your main line. Again, you do not have to use this leader material if you don't want to. I do. I go with a 30-pound main line and run a 50 or 60-pound leader on there for abrasion resistance around the mouth of the fish. Now, how long is that leader material? It varies anywhere from 12 inches to 2 feet. Some people go with longer leader material if they're afraid that the fish may be sinker sensitive or swivel sensitive or something like that. But I've fished a long time, caught a lot of fish, and the leader length on this rig does not really matter that much. Now, the common name for this rig is a Carolina rig. It's an effective rig not just for catfish, but pretty much just about any kind of fish where you are placing a bait in a place and waiting. If you are fishing for bluegill, you can use a downscale version of this. You can use it in saltwater for different fish in those areas. And it doesn't just have to be fished on the bottom. It can be fished underneath the bobber, or it can be suspended underneath the boat. Now, in this whole assembly of stuff, there are some variables. How heavy a line do you use? I suggest people starting out fishing for just trying to catch a catfish have somewhere 12 to 17 pound, maybe 20 pound line. As far as leader material, something in the 40 to 50 pound range will be more than enough. How big a sinker? Depending on your current and situations like that, anywhere from 2 ounces to 3 or 4 ounces if you're in some heavy current. And as for the hooks, well, kind of match it to your bait. I know that's a tough answer for somebody new. If you're starting out fishing for smaller fish, a 2/0 to 4/0 hook will work great. How long is that leader that you have on there? Anywhere from 12 to 18 inches. Some people will run them longer depending on what technique they're using to fish, but 12 to 18 inches is plenty. Now, the Carolina rig is useful for all kinds of fishing. It is the most universal rig out there. You can do saltwater fishing with this. You can fish this rig on the bottom. You can drag it along the bottom. You can cast it and bump it slowly. You can fish it directly underneath the boat, underneath the bobber. It is very, very versatile. It's caught more fish than any other rig in the world. Well, guys, hopefully that gives you some good information on the Carolina rig and how to use it and its applications. This is the most basic rig for anybody starting out fishing. You learn how to tie this rig, how to put this together, and you're ready to go catch a lot of different fish in a lot of different places. Well, folks, if you made it this far, thank you for watching. Here are a couple more videos that I think you're gonna like. I'd watch that one and then that one. No, do that one first and then that one. I don't know, just watch them both. They're both good.